Hey guys, it's Nick, and in this video, I want to talk about the news that Hertz is buying 100,000 Tesla cars. So it is definitely good news for Tesla as you see the stock today, but it is also really good news for Hertz. So this is kind of a win-win situation for both of them, and it's also going to be a win situation for stockholders, it seems. So I'm going to talk about the practical reasons of why they did this, and I'm going to talk about the more cynical kind of reasons why they did this. Now, this doesn't mean Hertz is going to have 100,000 Teslas to rent tomorrow. This deal goes all the way to the end of 2022. So why are they mentioning this deal now? And how come they don't do big press releases when they buy a whole bunch of Chevy Sparks, which is their #1 supplier, GM? Also, since Nissan is a big supplier to them, why didn't they try to get a whole bunch of Nissan Leafs? It would have been much cheaper, right? Well, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So the practical reason for buying these Teslas is because of the chip shortage and possible aluminum shortage in the future. Because car manufacturers cannot build enough cars to meet the demand, they have no interest in selling discounted fleet sales to people like Hertz. So although the Hertz fleet is about 350,000 cars in the US and 70,000 international, they want to add about 20% to their fleet to bring it back up to about 500,000, which is where it was before the whole pandemic started. Now, why is Hertz committing to spending about $4.2 billion on these 100,000 cars, which is about $42,000 a car? Well, for one thing, they think they're going to need the cars, and Tesla supposedly is not having the same kind of chip problem that other manufacturers are having. The second reason is that this order is like 10% of Tesla's sales. So by placing this big order now, they kind of crowd out Avis and Enterprise from trying to copy them and get the same kind of halo effect with Tesla. In addition to renters being able to charge these Teslas at Tesla charging stations, Hertz is going to build out their own charging stations at their stores. And right now, these chargers are only going to be for Hertz customers, but who knows, in the future, they may start selling electricity to anybody. But for anybody who's actually had to pay for gasoline from the rental car company, you know what they charge for gas. So I could imagine that electricity is going to be pretty expensive as well compared to other places. So are people going to be willing to spend the extra money it's going to cost to rent a Tesla? Judging from the luxury cars that rental car companies already rent, like Mercedes and BMWs, I think the answer to that is definitely yes. And an added boost to Tesla rentals is people that are maybe curious about Teslas and want to try it out, kind of try before you buy kind of thing. I think a really big and lucrative customer for these Tesla rental cars is going to be large corporations. A lot of large corporations are going to make their employees only rent electric cars when they have to rent a car. And so this kind of adds the halo to them that they're kind of virtue signaling their green street cred kind of thing. So it adds to their marketing materials of how green a company they are. So the added cost of renting a Tesla over a regular ICE car is just seen as kind of like a marketing expense. Now let's get to the cynical reason of why they're doing this. So Knighthead and Certares Capital, the two investment funds that were the bidders that overbid everybody else to take Hertz out of bankruptcy, apparently were talking to Tesla months before any of this really happened. So they already had a plan to buy these cars ahead of time to position Hertz as kind of a green ESG kind of company. And so the reason this press release is coming out right now is because of the upcoming re-IPO of Hertz. Since they came out of bankruptcy, Hertz has been trading on the pink sheets and they want to list Hertz on NASDAQ. And that's going to happen before the end of 2021. And so they're going to be doing roadshows before that. Now, a roadshow is like a traveling sales presentation. They go all over the country to investment managers and make the case for why they should buy this stock. So not only will they tell them that the new company has low debt and is doing really well, but now they have this extra thing in their pocket, this whole ESG thing, the whole environmental, social governance movement. And this is going to be a big selling point to a lot of these managers because these managers now have objectives to invest in ESG type companies. So Hertz is now going to position itself as an ESG company to tick off the box on some of these investment managers so they could say, hey, this is a no-brainer. this fits into my criteria for my objectives I have to invest in ESG companies. And ESG is all the rage now. It's politically correct. So everybody is jumping on the ESG bandwagon. Vanguard has all these ESG funds. And so in the US, there are more than 600 ESG funds and ETFs representing 161 billion in assets under management. And this is how much they've grown from 60 billion in 2010 to like 160 billion now. And if you're wondering what a ESG stock actually is, well, it looks almost exactly like the S&P 500 or any other large cap ETF. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, you even have companies like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Caterpillar, Deere. So that's kind of the IPO game plan. You place this order with Tesla. Now you can tout your ESG cred with all the investment managers on the roadshow. So they're going to commit to buying more stock than maybe they normally would if it's just a regular rental car company. And at the same time, this offers a way to all of these other so-called companies that claim to be ESG to pay up more for rentals just so that they can add another thing to their ESG street cred. So I gotta say, hats off to Knighthead and Certares because what they're doing is really clever, and I think the stock is probably gonna pop a lot just based on the news that they are now affiliated with Tesla, so to speak. Now, a lot of people won't buy GM because it's just a dirty car company and an old business, but they'll buy Tesla because it's a new business and they are kind of the Apple of electric cars. So Hertz hopes to absorb some of that electric car Tesla halo so that investors see it not just as a rental car company, but as an electric rental car company, kind of like the Tesla of rental cars. So whether renting Teslas turns out to be profitable for Hertz doesn't really matter that much. The main thing is the euphoria and the hype that they build around Hertz right before the IPO. So if you're a Hertz stockholder, I think this IPO is going to be pretty good for you. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.